Regular season might provide us with the thrill of non-stop football action, but the transfer season is its own kind of wild drama. Fans go nuts for new signings, screaming just as loud as they do for goals. And the groans, they're just as loud when a signing flops. And now that we're fully strapped on for the wild rumors of the transfer window, it's time to take a closer look at the market. Sure, every top team wants to sign a player like Mbappe, but many teams will end up with some of the players on our list in this video. So let's cut right to the chase and find out the footballers every club should avoid during this transfer window. After helping the Sao Paulo youth team win the J-League Challenge competition as best player in the competition, Antony announced himself as a future star. After impressive performances with the senior team, he found his way to Ajax for a sweet £13 million transfer fee. He showed the Dutch side they were right to take a chance on him by adding 11 goals and 10 assists to help Ajax win the league and a cup title. The next season, he kept up the same energy with double figures for goals and assists to help Ajax return the league. Maybe it was time for new ground. Sure, nobody says no to Manchester United. Antony reunited with his former boss Erik ten Hag at the Theatre of Dreams. 2 years later, and his dreams have fast become a nightmare. Despite scoring in his first 3 games against Arsenal, Manchester City, and Everton, Antony has struggled to justify why the Red Devils paid out a massive £82 million for him. Before the 17th of March 2024, Antony went a whole year without scoring at Old Trafford. He finished the whole of last season with 3 goals and 2 assists in 38 games. For a player rated highly for creativity, that's rock bottom. Maybe he'll have a good next season with United. Who knows? But right now, his game is a red flag that no team should bear the burden for. Next up is another Brazilian. Explaining why clubs should avoid Casemiro this window is tricky. The guy's an all-time great and played a huge role in Madrid's recent dominance in the Champions League. But here's the kicker. Casemiro's best days are behind him, it seems. Casemiro's first season at Manchester United was great. He helped United to an EFL Cup win with a goal in the final and also helped to secure a Champions League place for the side too. Last season was different though. He got regular stick from fans and critics for many tired performances that gave the air of a player eager for time on the beach. He was often caught out of position, dribbled past too easily, and made mistakes a player of his reputation should never make. At the age of 32, with a salary of £350,000 per week, those performances are a cautionary tale for any big side in Europe's elite to even consider shelling out that kind of money. The next name on this list is another defensive midfielder that may not be the security that your team needs. There was once a transfer window when everybody wanted a piece of the former Leeds player. We're talking about a player that became only the 3rd player in the 21st century to make an appearance for England before playing in the country's top league. At one period, Calvin was arguably England's most important player. He played all matches at the 2020 Euros, where England narrowly lost to Italy in the finals. His performances earned him the Men's Player of the Year award for England that year. Just 4 years later, Phillips' stock is at an all-time low. He's contributed next to nothing since he got a dream move to play for Guardiola's Manchester City. It got so bad that Pep called him out in the press for becoming overweight. To his credit, Calvin tried to fix up his career by joining West Ham United on loan in January last season. That too was a disaster. He played only 8 games for the Hammers and managed to get sent off, give away a penalty, and make errors leading to goals. Oof. Things went from worse to horrible when Calvin got into a row with West Ham fans and gave them the middle finger after one of his bad games. A massive fall from grace. Well, who do we have next? Another Englishman that clubs should avoid opening their purse for is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. When DCL finished the 2019 and 2020 season as Everton's top scorer, everyone had him nailed on for a big move. That switch never came. DCL went on to have a better goal-scoring season the very next season. Unfortunately, since then, his story has been a constant battle with injuries. In the 2021 and 2022 season, Dom was out for a total of 143 days due to injuries. This figure was even worse the next season, with a total of 219 days spent on the sidelines. Even though he was only out for 6 days in the last season, it's clear that the setbacks have taken their toll on the English target man because his goal-scoring form has dipped. All of this makes DCL an unwise choice for any side looking for reliable firepower. The next name on this list is heartbreaking because it shows how much injuries can change the course of a player's career. Football is full of tales of failed wonder kids. Sometimes it's down to bad decisions on the player's part, and sometimes it's from the dreaded time on the sidelines. Ansu was once the heir to Messi's Barcelona throne. Need context? Before Lamine Yamal showed up and broke some of those records, Fati was once the youngest player to ever make an appearance and score for Barcelona in the Champions League. He's the youngest player in the history of La Liga to score and assist in the same match, as well as the youngest to ever score a brace. With such a blinding start to his career, what could possibly stop him? The tragic answer to that is a left knee meniscus tear. Although he was expected to be out for only 4 months, Ansu was on the physio's table for 9 months. It's been a constant battle with setbacks ever since. Not even a loan deal to Brighton and Hove Albion could change that for him. Although he wrote his name into the English side's history books by scoring in their first ever win in a European fixture, it never quite happened for him at the club. We're now left to wonder what version of Ansu the world will see next season. For that reason, it's too much of a gamble to consider making Fati an important transfer target. Another player who's seen the table more than the pitch in recent times is Malacia. The simple reason? It's been over a year since Malacia last set foot on the pitch. Since Manchester United paid out £13 million to sign the Dutch player, they've hardly got any value for their money. In his first season with the club, he failed to score and provide an assist in 39 games. Maybe a loan spell might help, but it's hard to see any club side spending money to bring him back to his feet. One player who's mostly been on his feet but still finds his name on our list is Matthijs de Ligt. Clearly de Ligt is no scrub when it comes to defending, but somehow he's never managed to establish himself as the impenetrable wall we all think he could be. Back in 2017, de Ligt became the youngest player to make an appearance for the Dutch national team since 1931. He's won both the Golden Boy Award and the Copa Trophy. He's won multiple trophies with clubs like Ajax, Juventus, and Bayern Munich, and yet he's never become an untouchable name in the sides he's played for since he left Ajax. Last season, he had issues with recurring knee injuries and fell behind the pecking order. He's currently valued at 65 million euros. Is it good value for your money? I doubt it. Some fans might disagree though. Coming right up is another debatable name on our list. Barcelona got into a transfer war against Chelsea and Arsenal when they went all out to sign Raphinha. The former Leeds United player ended up choosing the Catalan Giants. How has that worked out so far? Honestly, it's hard to say. On one hand, you could say 20 goals and 25 assists in 87 appearances is a great return, and you'd be right. On the other hand, you could also say that Raphinha hasn't made himself a player to definitely build a team around. Remember, he's already getting benched by 16-year-old Lamine Yamal. Also, his recent injury record saw him miss 14 games last season. Would you hand the keys to your club's right wing to Raphinha? That right there is the question to ask. Zaniolo's gone from winning the Serie A Young Player of the Season award for 2018 and 2019 at Roma to fighting gambling allegations. The last few years have been a nightmare for Nico, and injuries have played a major role. Nico has had 2 anterior cruciate ligament injuries to recover from. 1 ACL injury is bad enough, but 2? That's like lightning striking the same spot twice. In his last season with Roma, he scored only 1 league goal as he battled shoulder and thigh injuries. His time with Galatasaray and then Aston Villa on loan have been further disrupted by injuries, and one has to wonder when he'll get to catch a break. To make matters worse, he's had a run-in with the law. He was questioned by the Turin Public Prosecutor's Office in 2023, where he admitted to gambling on card games. He's been lucky to escape the sort of ban that's kept Tonali out of the game. Finally, we have Naby Keita. It has gone from bad to worse for the midfielder. After working his way through the Red Bull franchise teams to Liverpool, Keita had to endure a stormy 5-year spell at Anfield with many injuries. When he left for Werder Bremen at the end of his contract in 2023, many believed that he had finally had his breath of fresh air. Well, Keita had only made 4 appearances by April. His season ended with a fine and suspension for him after he refused to travel for a league game against Bayer Leverkusen. Embarrassing. To make matters worse, he was voted the league's worst player in a survey by Kicker, a German football magazine. Need any more evidence to stay away?